rest my Pokemon and save my game. Because we are grinding.
Oh, he's back on the grind. Did you end up restarting the progress?
That was the only way. It was the only way. Gina's been murdered. I put a Rip Gina in chat. I did put it in our RLCS discussion. I did give it a Rip Gina.
Yeah, this is true.
That was my tell to everyone that the deed was done. Gina was no longer. Now it is Johnny. I debated using Quilly, but we use the government. We are 3 badges deep. We have beat 3 gyms. We are moving. We are grooving. All right. It's gonna sound really embarrassing. More yapping. So the game like started like the screen. I was like walking. It was like 2 gyms in. The screen just started like bugging like as I was walking, and I was like, "What is happening?" It's only happening when I'm walking, and it's like only
Poison.
after I. Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing. I was like, it's only after I save my game or I go to the Pokestop charge and then I save. So once I heal them, the screen thing would stop, and I think it was because I saved my game. So I was like, what is going on here? There was like 2 days where I thought my cartridge was cooked, and I was pissed. Like I was so upset. Then I looked at one TikTok video. Poison as you walk, you take damage, and it's letting you know. Dude, I thought my game was cooked. I was so upset. I'm a casual. I had no idea that was a thing ever.
Yeah, it's tough.
Thank the TikTok though. Thank TikTok gods for allowing easy searches that just bring up everything you ever need.
No kidding. It's like it's such a good way to have information.
Chat GPT and TikTok search bar answers all.
Also Gemini.
I haven't spoken to Gemini yet. I haven't. That or Grok. Some wild ball to talk today, sir. Oof! I don't know if you didn't know. This is a Pokemon podcast now. Let's see. My big 6. We got Charmeleon. We got Oddish, Pikachu, Mankey.
You gotta have a water one. Where's the water one?
I don't have a water one.
Oh.
Why can't I remember the other one? I know I have what's the thing called? The little crab, para something?
Paris.
All right, I have him, but all right.
He doesn't know water yet.
This is gonna sound crazy. This is gonna sound crazy. He is what is referred to as a cut slave.
That's fair.
HM
slave. Yep.
HM slave. That I saw that. I was like, what? The term? He's there for my cut. He's there to cut whatever trees in front of me.
A lot of people use like Zigzagoon.
It said Paris as the recommendation too, but it said to use him as a cut slave, and I was like, oh freaking what now? This is a term.
Yeah, because like in the newest gen games, like you just need to have the HM to be able to use it. You don't need a Pokemon a Pokemon doesn't need to know the move, which I think is kind of good because like realistically, like it's just like it takes up a spot because you need to have the moves, right? But there's some of them that are like useful, like Fly is fine in my opinion, but like I mean like Rock Smash and Cut and Waterfall and Surf, it's like okay, come on.
This pissed me off. I gotta remember what my 6. See if I can remember on the way there. As it loads. What is my 6th Pokemon? Why is my brain... My brain is leading me astray. Oh! Nidoran.
Oh.
The female one. I had a male one, and then some random little girl was like, hey, you want to trade? And I can't never remember the name because she traded me one named Miss Nido. Which... Nido, if you're out there.
Shout out, Nido.
Want to do an interview? Shout out, Nido. Miss Nido is the name of it, but it's spelled Nido.
Yeah.
Hey, wait, I'm not playing red. I'm playing Fire Red. Is that the same thing? Is that what he means by red? I don't know how many different ones there are. I know they re-released Fire Red on the Switches.
Yeah, they just ported them to the Switch. Yep.
Hey, this is Fire Red, right? I have a brain.
Yeah, no, he's talking about the OG Red, which is like one of the very first gens. There's like yellow.
So there's a red, and then they released a Fire Red.
Yes.
Because I know there's a leaf. So I'm assuming there's a green, and then there's leaf.
Yeah, there's green and then leaf green, and then they did like Omega Ruby. And it's kind of it's not exactly a reskin, but like close to it. So, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as me
But
tell, big casual.
here we are. But that's a good way to intro the episode. Um, Hello and welcome back to the Boost Over Ball podcast, listeners new and old. Hello and welcome to the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Kyle, K Cube in the top left, and in the bottom right we got the Pokemaster himself, Quilly, rocking his playthrough of Fire Red. But on today's episode, RLCS is finally back in full swing. Open number 4 has been completed for OCE, MENA, Sub-Saharan Africa, and North America. We also now know the top 16 teams who have made the group stage for EU, SAM, and APAC. So we'll give our thoughts and analysis on all of the action that we've seen thus far. And then we'll talk a little bit about what we think is going to happen for the regions that have not concluded their Open 4 yet. A lot to talk about, a lot of crazy things going on. Are you ready to jump right in?
Yes, sir. Okay, there's so much to get through.
Oh my god, I know. Okay, so we are going to do the regions that now know their top 16 first. So that's going to be EU, SAM, and APAC. So we're going to start out in EU. Our teams that have made the top 16 from Group A are Vitality, WIP Esports, Synergy, GK, Gentlemates, Team BSK, TRB, and Calogeras. And from Group B, we have NIP, Carmine Corps, Inner Circle. Also, I would like it noted that on Inner Circle, who did make a top 8 or top 16 here, they have Motion, player who is fresh off his 1-year ban as a part of the Young Money Clan match throwing saga in Sub-Saharan Africa. We also have Man City Esports, KDOP Corp, Novo Esports, Cloud Esport, and Game Ward. And I would like it mentioned that KDOP Corp is Radosin, Alpha 54, and Mitzer. It does not have KDOP on the team.
What do you mean? That's K Corp. What are you talking about?
Exactly. So they've changed from Gentle Bench to Kato Corp. But some notable misses here. The Last Dance, which is KDOP and Fairy Peak. Magnifico not making it, and that is Yujin, Atomic, and Nico, who with Coach Blau, we thought that would kind of be a pretty decent roster. Chippy Chips and GHT, another couple of teams that we've seen make the top 16 or top 8s before. But here we are. Vitality coming straight out the gates, only dropping 1 game to Synergy. NIP dropping 1 game to Inner Circle, KC dropping 1 game to Winners Win, Losers Complain. But, I mean, for the most part, it kind of seems like the teams that are, that were supposed to win did. The only one that is kind of surprising to me would be Inner Circle. They take down NIP. Or, I'm sorry. Whoa. They take down Man City is what I was trying to say. So, what surprises do you have for EU of these teams making top 16, and what do you think moving forward?
I mean, the obvious one is obviously seeing Alpha 54 back on the main event scene. I think that's obviously the biggest surprise. I can't remember the name of the team, but the Eugen
like Gentle
Atomic.
Bench.
Yeah, they're not even making it. I thought it was pretty crazy.
The Gentle Bench team, because it was like Yujin moved to Magnifico, who didn't make it, because that's Yujin, Atomic, and Nico. Gentle Bench kind of vanished, but it was Mitzer and Radosin. But they swapped Alpha for Yujin, and now they're KDOP Corp. So, I don't really know, but here we are.
It's very confusing. All I know is Eugen's not in top 16. Eugen and Atomic are not in top 16. And I think that's pretty new and pretty crazy. But yeah, no, this whole EU bracket is all over the place. There's been so much movement between all the mid-tier teams. I don't even know what to call mid-tiers because I feel like there's the upper echelon and then there's everyone else.
Yeah.
Everyone else has been doing quite the shakeup comparatively.
I mean, Mates, Carmine Corps, Vitality, NIP all kind of stay the same. And then we have GK swapping Seiko for Tempo. So Man City then is Edgeby, Acro, Seiko, and GK is Appjack, Joyo, Tempo. And that's kind of the main roster move, like, for our top teams, and so I'm interested. Like it was interesting to see that GK dropped their first game to Chippy Chips 3-1, but then they came back and they beat Just Chilling, BSK, and TRB, two teams that that made the top 8 from Group A. So a good showing from GK. So I don't know, if this means they'll be more consistent, if Tempo's still kind of trying to find his way. We'll have to wait and see on that one.
Yeah, and I think Europe, it's in a place where it doesn't seem like it's Karmine Corp's game to lose anymore. It now seems like it's fair game to everyone. And honestly, there's somehow a chance that KDOP Corp goes farther than Karmine Corp with how it's looking for them. That's my early bold prediction is that KDOP Corp makes it farther than Karmine Corp.
Another interesting note for me, at least, is Gentlemates dropping game 1 of the Swiss to GHT, and this is a Gentlemates team, obviously, that we just saw win a major, and they looked incredible. I'm interested to see if they can bring that form with them back into Europe. But man, like you kind of asked the question or mentioned the question that I was gonna pose, and is KC still the favorite? Right? Are they still your EU 1 seed, or has the other teams kind of closed the gap?
Yeah, no. With how Vitality looked at Boston, you cannot deny them, and obviously, Gentlemates, they speak for themselves. Their ability, and what we saw, it just matters how if these teams can keep it up, and if they can perform the same in the online scene, because as we see between every open to the lands, at different teams, or every team has a different type of play style in these different environments, because there's different stresses and different types of atmospheres that change how you view the play style or change the nerves or what decisions you make. So it'll be rather interesting to see how this open 4 pans out.
It certainly will. So that being said, we will have 5 EU teams that will make the major, thanks to their kickoff LAN win.
Dang it, dude.
What are your way too early 5 EU teams that are making it out here?
Well, obviously we have Vitality.
Or do we just see do we see the same teams, right? And then like that's a totally fair answer, right? Because our current teams are Gentlemates, Karmine Corp, Vitality, Ninjas in Pajamas, and GK, with Man City, TRB, and Novo just on the outside.
Not to keep knocking them, but I think there's an outside chance that Karmine Corp doesn't even qualify on points. Obviously, they have no choice but to go because they've already pre-qual. Did they pre-qual the second major, or is it just Worlds? Was it Major 1 and Worlds?
For what? No, it's just Major 1, I believe.
Oh, so they're not pre-qualified for anything from here.
Not to my knowledge.
There's an outside chance. I feel like Karmine Corp could still even miss out here if things go a little crazy. But I think the obvious locks are Vitality and Mates. Okay. Outside of that, I feel like it could be anyone's game, but I feel like the obvious guesses are. So we got 1, 2 with Vitality, Mates. I'm not saying in any order.
Yep, you're still looking at Karmine, Ninjas in Pajamas, GK, and Man City. Realistically.
Yeah, I'm just scrolling around. I think GK.
Okay.
Do I give Nip the nod? Damn, Magnifico missing. I don't know. Not seeing Whip, I guess. Karmine, and you know what?
It's Nipper Man City, realistically, in my eyes.
You know what it is? It's Inner Circle.
That's crazy.
I don't even believe it.
No. I mean, realistically, I think that Gentlemates showed better at the major, but it's still KC in Europe. Like, there's no way that they're not the 1 seed in my eyes. They're just too big to fail. So, I like you, Gentlemates, Karmine, Vitality. I think are pretty much locks. And then I think your NIP, your GK, and your Man City are kind of fighting for those last 2 spots between the 3 of them. So unfortunately for them, I think it's got to be NIP and GK. I'm very intrigued though to see if Seiko can kind of help HB and Acro grow and continue to improve on some of the results that they had in the last split. So we will see, but that's what I got.
Yeah, never mind. Give me Man City in the last spot. Seiko for the win.
Okay.
I do have one quick question though.
Yeah.
Can we give up on Rust Easy? Can we stop calling him next up? He's 18. He's got nothing to show for in terms of like a flash of it being that guy.
He made a top 16 right here with Game Ward and Pisky, Mozzarella, and Rusty's.
He made a top 16 by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah, he
Game
did.
5, bet in round 5.
They beat Magnifico though.
But based off how they looked, they lost to some questionable people, including
their losses came to Nip
and it's Surreal. They beat them. They got smacked by Nip. They lost to KDOP Corp, and then they lost in 5 to Rust Easy.
Game Ward reverse swept the Swiss. That's all I'm saying.
Fine. I'm just,
but I would agree. I don't think he's next up. I think he's been passed over. I think now you're looking at like Tempo, Acro, Edgeby. I think you're looking at like Yujin or Mitzer. So
not even Yujin. Get Yujin out of here. Get him out of here. Keep that name out my. It's Nico.
Fair. It probably is though. I think you're right.
What team is Nico even on?
He's playing for Magnifico. Nico, Atomic, Yujin.
That's what it is. That's what it was. That's the team that surprised me that they missed. I was really talking about it.
Yeah, but moving across a little bit across the world here, and we will jump over to Sam. Our teams making the top 16 from Group A are Furia, Team Secret, 3-point shooters, W Key, Big Odes, Nova Legion, Carry Time, Overlooked, and from Group B we have MIBR, Enosis Esports, BS Plus Competition, Nova Drift, Sangres, Esforzo FC, Dream Esports, and Defied. Kind of about what we expected. Furia and Secret go 3-0. Furia drops a game to Overlooked, and Team Secret drops a game to 25 Shot Club and to Nova Legion. And then in Group B, we have MIBR sweeping through, going to 5 with Nova Drift, but still 3-0. And Enosis going 3-0 as well. But that BS Plus competition team is KV1, CRN, and Witsy. So very similar to what Oof said in chat earlier, that the fall of Atomic needs to be studied for EU. The fall of KV1 in Sam needs to be studied because at the end of last year, he was a member of Furia. So, he's gone from Furia to Secret to BS Plus competition now. So he's fallen even a step further. They did get picked up, but I don't realistically see them having any chance to make a major here. What are your thoughts?
Actually, my screen went out, and I've been trying to fix that, so I didn't even get to.
You're all good.
If you look at my screen's gone black, and I'm trying to do a reconnaissance to fix this. I don't know what's going on, but I'm in the dark now. What team are we talking about?
So, Furia goes 3-0, Team Secret goes 3-0, MIBR goes 3-0, Enosis Esports goes 3-0.
Screen's back on, but I lost connection. Oh, and it's gone. I'm in hell.
Love that. Love that.
My screen turned on as you froze, so I couldn't hear anything. And then this goes back to black, and then you're back.
Oh, no. So it's one or the other.
Yeah.
Fun.
I don't know what. I don't even know what the problem could be. All right. Yep. Furia. Let me just pull up Sam real quick so I can quit killing time here. What about Furia? About which one's the real dog? Is that what the question is?
Yeah.
And they all went 3-0.
Yeah. Furia, Secret, MIBR, and Enosis all go 3-0. It's a 2-team region. Do you think it's still Furia, MIBR? Do you think Secret can kind of fight their way back in there? What are your thoughts?
Honestly, I have no idea. It's really an arms race because I feel like these teams are all closer than they should be based off the Furia of past. It should not be that close of a race, but it is. And Team Secret, they are ebb and flowing hard. So you really don't know what team to be expecting. MIBR, you just never doubt the bull. He's the only constant. It's the bull. You never doubt the bull.
Can't
I
do
know.
it.
I think it's literally just a toss up between the four.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, for Worlds, it's a little bit more muddy because they have such a lead after going to the event. Neither of which doing extremely well there, but I realistically I would agree with you. I think it's probably Furia MIBR. I think Secret is a third, but that's kind of where I'm leaning right now at least. But if you had to pick one, who's going to come out of Sam victorious this split? What do you think? Like, who's going to be that number one Sam seed?
Give me Nova Legion.
Actually, though,
Honestly, BS plus competition. Give me KV1. Give me KV1 Revenge Tour.
that would be crazy because that would mean they would make a major and potentially Worlds, depending on how they do. But I think it's got to be Furia. They have so much resources and so many talented players. I think that they'll bounce back from a down split. Will they be successful in international competition? Based on the previous 3 results, no, they won't. But they'll be there. So we shall see. Who knows? Maybe they just like playing against Zen in France. So who knows? You ready? Anything else you want to add before we jump over to APAC?
Oh, my screen's back on. Did I fix it? Honestly, I think Twitch somehow shut down my. All right, it's just frozen. This is so cool.
Just close
no,
Twitch.
Move on. Well, once I do that, the screen goes black.
Oh no!
It's so good. This PC has been a nightmare. I built this thing, and I wish I built the dumpster because that's pretty much what I did build, just for $1,150 more.
Yeah. Well, here we are. Over in APAC, our teams making the top 16 from Group A are TSM, Four Guys, Dream Station, Godspeed, Nagatomo Ninjas, Big Dogs, Three Rats, and High Risk, Low Reward. And from Group B, we have North Star Gaming, Kinotrope Gaming, Jungle Juicers, 86, RHHS, Grace's Blaze, EHE, and So, some interesting names coming out of there. But nevertheless, I really think that it still continues to be a TSM and Kinotrope show. Whoever of those teams will win in the grand finals will be our APAC representative. I see no reason to think that it won't continue to be TSM, that it won't continue to be Kevin, Sphinx, and Catalysm. They just have showed extremely well, and I think that they are just a little bit better than Maxu, Cash, and Furlash. So, anything else that you want to add on that?
All you. All good, brother.
Okay. Now we will move across to the regions that have completed their Open 4, and that is going to be starting with OCE. So our teams making the top 8 through the upper bracket are Power, Take Flight, Wildcard, and Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. Through the lower bracket, we have You Not a Champ, You a Clown, Heartless Esports, Nerve, and Bills. Then making the top 4, we have Wildcard taking down Flight 4-0, and we have Power taking down the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs 4-1 to set up a Grand Finals rematch that we've seen many a time this season already, and that is Power and Wildcard, and Power are able to sweep out Wildcard and take home the Open 4 victory. So congratulations to Power, congratulations to Fiber and the boys. They were one game off having a perfect playoff bracket as they swept Take Flight. They then dropped 1 to Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs and then swept Wildcard in the grand finals. So Power continue to build their lead. They continue to sit on top. They are now, a little, they are substantially ahead of a wild card now, especially if they're able to win Open 5 as well. But big wins for the Power Boys, and a good showing for them as they work on their quest to head to Paris to represent OCE, now a one-team region.
I have good news and I have bad news.
What's that?
Look at my reflection. Look in the. I've gotten the main monitor back on. This monitor is now green. If you look in the mirror,
Yeah, you can see it.
this
That's
monitor
crazy.
is now just green.
You might need to do a graphics card update at some point, but if you have a monitor, that would be helpful. But everything
I got
else,
one.
you still look good. The lighting is still great. You know, we're still going.
I'm just trying to make sure I'm still visible at all times.
You certainly are still visible.
Awesome.
But is there anything else that you wanted to add about OCE, about power, about any of that?
No, I'm all good. Wait, you power one?
Power swept wild card in the grand finals. Yep.
Yes, sir. I do recall seeing that. I was double checking that I do have a brain. But yeah, obviously we have found newfound appreciation for the boys. As Fiber is now our best friend. Just don't tell him we said that. Yeah, I think. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
The screen's going black. It switched back.
Oh no.
I'm losing my marbles here. I lost all my screens. But no, is on top, and that is the way we like it because we want to see Fiber at lands.
We certainly do. But moving forward to Sub-Saharan Africa, our team's making the top 8 through the upper bracket. We have Synthesis, Five Fears, Death Cloud Esports, and Astronic Esports. Through the lower bracket, we have Pioneers, Rounds, Bro Crow Crows, and Marine Region. Then moving into our top 4, we have Death Cloud Esports, who gets swept by Pioneers, and we have Five Fears, who sweep Astronic Esports 4-0. Then in our grand finals, we have, again, another rematch, Five Fears taking on Pioneers, and Five Fears are able to sweep Pioneers there, and Five Fears complete their perfect playoff bracket. They dropped one game to Marine Region in the group stage, and they dropped 3 games total in Swiss, 1 to Looking for Organization, and 2 to Strive Esports. So dropping 4 games total in their quest to be open for champions. So congratulations to Five Fears. Congratulations to the 2 South Africans and a Spaniard that have taken this one, being Tekaz, Snowy, and Guns. So anything you want to add on SSA before we get to some of the crazy stuff?
No, I'm ready for the crazy stuff because by gosh, did shit hit the fan.
Okay. We're going to save NA for last, and we're going to move to MENA. So starting out, teams making the top 8 through the upper bracket. We have R8 Esports, Twisted Minds, Alyom W Ana B Alashi, and Stallions. I'll dramatic pause to let that sink in. R8 Esports, Twisted Minds, Alam W Ana B Alashi, and Stallions. And through the lower bracket, we have DOS, Rafa Esports, Falcons, and Everything. Falcons making their drop to the lower bracket after getting swept by a peaking Twisted Minds team in the upper bracket in Group B. So they drop down to the lower bracket where they have to defeat AFK to qualify into the lower bracket. Kind of a shocking twist because Twisted looked incredible in the group stage. And then moving into playoffs, Twisted Minds are taken down by R8 Esports in Game 7, and Stallions take down Alyom W Ana B Alishi. And then moving into our top 4, we have Stallions versus Twisted Minds, and the Stallions are able to sweep Twisted Minds, and R8 are able to complete the gentleman's sweep of Falcons 4-1, which sets us up for a Stallions versus R8 Esports grand final in which R8 Esports is able to win 4-2. So no Falcons, no Twisted Minds in the grand final. This is the first MENA grand final ever to not include either of the Twins or TRK. Is this a changing of the guard? Is it just a fluke? Is this just a bad weekend for everyone? What are your thoughts?
Out of Twisted Mind, as someone that said Nobu's really quick to losing his cool, I feel like that was expected out of them. But Falcons, I don't know what to expect here. I don't know. As of right now, neither Twisted or Falcons will be at Paris. So
I
I
think
don't
this is
know.
the first time since MENA RLCS has begun that a Falcons or slash Sandrock Gaming team is not in a major spot, in a
Yeah.
land spot.
I mean, what was the other thing? This is the first the first regional finals in like
Ever.
2 years that hasn't had either TRK, Ruas, or
Killers.
Clears.
It's the first one ever to not include any of those three.
Ever?
Ever in the history of MENA RLCS.
That insane. So I don't think this is a changing of the guard. I just think there's beyond identity problems going on in MENA, but I don't know. Who is it? I think Musty just put out a video like the week before this that like this player's the next Zen, and it was Abdullah, and then for him to go on and do this, it's kind of insane.
So Musty knew the script, is what you're saying? That's crazy.
Musty knows ball. Musty knows ball beyond your wildest imagination. Or it was the luckiest strike of gold ever.
Yeah, and from Oof in the chat, he said MENA now has a grand finals between R8 Esports and Team Stallions. This is the first MENA grand finals since RLCS 2022-23 Spring Cup to not have the Twins. It's the first one ever to not have either the Twins or TRK.
Damn. Yeah, no, MENA is shooken up. I don't. Obviously, it's hard to imagine this is how it remains, but
Shaken, not
if it
stirred.
does, yes, precisely. I think that is. I don't know. We'll have to see, obviously, because only time will tell. But I imagine Twisted and Falcons pick up where they left off from last and reestablish themselves.
Yeah. Also from Oof, he said, I'm pretty sure that Ghazi is TRK's cousin. That doesn't seem very surprising. It seems like that man has way more than enough Rocket League talent to share with some of his family members. But that R8 Esports roster is Abdullah, Ghazi, and M7MD, and Stallions is Nush, Truk, and Twiz. So we've seen some of these players like Abdullah and Nush in the LCQ. So congratulations here to R8 Esports on their first ever MENA Open win. And I think that you'd have to see Falcons and Twisted coming back with a vengeance in the next one. Otherwise, they are in for a long split.
Yes, sir.
Okay. It is now that time.
Let's go. 1 second. I gotta prepare.
Okay. Fair. I think I know where this one's going. Might have something to do with that.
We're so fucking back.
Oh nope, he's wearing the football. He's got the football jersey.
We're so fucking back. We're so back. Down with NRG. There's a new top dog here.
So
And it's not NRG.
So we'll go through the results first, and then we'll talk through everything from the groups to the playoffs. So our teams making the top 8 through the upper bracket are Space Station Gaming, NRG, Strictly Business, and Foot. And through the lower bracket, we have M80, One, Next to New Esports, and Shopify. And our teams making the top 4, Foot is taken down by Space Station Gaming 4-2, and we have NRG again taken down Shopify 4-3. And in our grand finals, we have Space Station Gaming taking down NRG 4-2 to become your Open number 4 champions, and again denying NRG the three-peat. Seems like they win 2 in a row and then lose the third. It just seems like the way it's going. But we have all those. Let's take a step back and let's look at the group stage and find out how all of these teams made it here. What was the biggest surprise to you coming out of our group stage?
I mean, I'd like to say VP missing, but I also said that I feel like their hot streak had to come to an end at some point, and that it did. They unfortunately did they get the best matchups? Definitely not. um, but they definitely didn't look good in the matchups they did get. So I'm losing my marbles here with this freaking
I mean,
thing. I
it was
swear.
so. To your credit, it's a tough draw for Virtus. They dropped to the lowers at the hands of Dignitas, and they then get swept out of the tournament by Shopify, who, Shopify lost to Energy in the upper semis, and then qualified through lowers. But Dignitas, on the other hand, goes out to Foot, and then they get swept by one, and they didn't look good. So Dignitas misses, Virtus Pro misses, Gen G misses. It's a tough event for NA depth. What do you think?
I think I've lost both of my monitors now.
Well, I mean, I can still see you. You still sound good, so I don't know what's happening there, but you're still in the game.
I'm quite literally talking to the void right now.
You can still
but
hear
all
me.
I need to know, I can still hear you. SSG
Yeah.
still's on top. That will never change. I will never recognize it. What was the question at hand? Sorry, I'm losing my mind over here.
What were your thoughts on NA depth, right? Because Dignitas goes out, Virtus Pro goes out, Gen G goes out, not making top 8. So what do you think about the NA depth, and do you think that it's kind of the end of the line for some of these teams?
I did watch. I finally got to watch this weekend. I finally got to sit down and like enjoy it. I wasn't busy for the entire weekend, so I did watch it. Unfortunately, though, I cannot pull up the stat sheet to remind myself of what happened, but I did in fact get to watch it in its entirety. Um,
Which
but
one?
it
Which one do you want me
was.
to pull up? I can pull it up for you.
Well, I can't even see it. The luxury. My brain needs to just see what I'm talking.
Fair.
Wait.
Fair.
Oh wait. If you give me 2 milliseconds.
Oh, the phone.
Yes, we're
What?
using our brain here. I'm using my brain. I'm doing it.
He's limitlessing.
I'm doing it. Oh, it's not. It's not letting me click the link. Well, that sucks.
You might have to double
Why
click
isn't
it
it?
if you're looking at the Google Doc.
It just keeps highlighting it. I'm losing my mind. Let me out of this hell. Wait. Can you do me a favor? Just copy and paste the. Can you copy and paste the link into our Discord?
I already did. I DM'd it to you.
I
I was doing that as soon as you said I can't click the link. So here we go.
All right. Are we talking about just the 16? The
Yeah,
top
like
16 right now?
just through the group stage. Yeah, like the fact that Gen G didn't
Oh,
make it, Dignitas didn't make
holy
it.
shit. Did Gen G look freaking horrible? They looked bad from start to finish.
Gen G looked
Obviously,
amazing in Swiss, right? Like they
yes.
beat NRG, they beat Strictly Business, and they beat Spacebound Cowboys, and then they did the most Gen G thing ever, and they got swept by M80.
Immediately flamed out. They lost to what is the Immigrants that they had no right losing to at all. They got was that all wheel drive they got to win against? It was AWD.
They lose to Immigrants, they beat all AWD, and then they get swept by M80.
They got dominated. Watching the last game was at least like down to 1 goal, and watching the life from Jamaican Coconut's eyes be sucked from him is just insane to watch. Also very depressing, because that was just so sad for them to go out. But also, what is it? Next to new,
Yeah.
they looked phenomenal going through this whole thing, and even Foot. And that was immediately what Red said is, do we have to backtrack our title from last week? Was Justin clearly Justin was not the problem, he was the solution, because he has solved Foot problems and made them look eons better already than they did, and Gen G is quite literally in the shitter.
So and that's another thing that I was going to talk about once we got into the talking about the playoffs, right? We kind of dogged Foot a little bit for making a double change and forfeiting all their RLCS points. Maybe that was the right move.
Maybe they know something.
They didn't make it. They didn't make a top, a grand finals, but man, they were not making a top 4 with the last iteration of their roster. So
Also, how great would that Shopify Rebellion reverse sweep would have been? How great. We were
I
this
would
freaking close.
I would have been in shambles.
I wouldn't have been. I would have just been front running all over Red because now I officially have 2 teams that I root for because Scribbles is back, so
Whoa,
that
whoa,
takes
whoa, whoa,
priority
whoa,
over
whoa!
everything.
Who?
Zach, my bad.
I know. I
Curse
do the
name,
same
curse
thing.
name, curse dead name. I dead named him.
Scrib cap.
Script cap. Yeah, no, Zach is the truth. He's back, and Scribbles is the good. So I kind of have to follow there. For I don't want to be like a team jumper, but Zach's the goat.
Fair.
And I don't know if I could keep dying on this first killer hill. I don't know how long I can defend this guy.
I just
It's a tiring battle.
I don't understand because they looked so bad against next to new. That game goes to 7 in lower bracket round 1, and they're able to win on Champions Field 1-0, to kind of to move themselves through, and then they run into Strictly Business and they look good, right? They win, they lose game 1 and then they win 4 straight through a timeout, through everything. And then they run into NRG and NRG wins 3 straight and they almost get the reverse sweep, but NRG is able to stave them off and win 2-0 to again continually beat them. But I don't know. I never really thought that they looked like they were going to win the event. What do you think?
Yeah, no. At no point did I believe in Shopify Rebellion. This whole weekend was a nightmare for them, and it's usually how it goes for first killer in NA Opens of past. Outside of the first one where NRG didn't even have air to breathe. That was the only time he's looked passable. That was the only time they've shown life. Outside of that, quite literally, at no point in this season have I been able to believe that Shopify was the truth. As much as I've been front running with them, I've been running with them and saying like how great this team looks. LJ in that last game, that game 7, he let in 2 of like the worst goals, like going up wall and just letting it bounce off and just whiffing completely, and then a shot right over his head. And RLCS Pro's got to be saving that, especially the one that's playing third. That's his job, defend the net, and he's not doing it in game 7. The crunch time, the crunchiest of times. It's just crunch. It's crunchier than. I'm trying to think of a crunchy bar. A Nature Valley? Is that
Yes.
Is that one of them?
Yep, the one that crumbles everywhere. Yeah,
literally crunchier than that, and he crumbled beyond belief. It was brutal.
Well, I mean that's the knock on first killer teams. When the lights are the brightest, he kind of vanishes. He's a phenomenal player, potentially one of the best to ever do it in NA, but they can't get the results because they can't clutch up.
Yeah, it would have been NRG going from reverse sweeping to getting reverse swept.
Yeah, so
and that would have been cool, but
so we can talk about that now. NRG reverse sweep Space Station Gaming in the upper bracket quarterfinals. If I had a nickel for every time NRG reverse swept Space Station, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's still weird. It's happened twice.
Zach was there for both.
He was, but hey, and then Foot sweep Strictly Business, and oh my god, they looked incredible. You then have M80 taking down 1, and then getting Gentleman swept by Space Station to set up a Foot Space Station game in which Space Station, despite the fact that they were down, or that they were never down in the series, they looked like that they were in control, right? Although in a 6-game series, they had 4 games that went to OT, so the games were very close themselves, and I thought Foot looked great, but man, Zach, Scribbles, Scribcap, Zach was on another level. He ascended.
He's the truth, man. I've been saying it. I've been saying it last year. I was getting ridiculed by Red for saying how great Scrib was. Zach Scrib last year, saying no. What are you talking about? You're delusional. But guess what? Zach comes back, and all of a sudden SSG's a number 1. SSG with Zach is 2-0 in the last 2 opens with him. Coincidence? To the moon. They're taking this space station to the moon. They're taking it literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the SSG, they looked like a bad. They were just an unmatched beast going through and through the whole way. At no point did they look bad. Did not like the rust. The rust and Scrib are just two things that did not go together. It's just straight up Zach now. Can't put rust on a guy that you don't even know because it's Zach now. It's not Scrib. Scrib's probably rusty. He's probably out there studying still, worried about his grades. But Zach is here to play Rocket League and kick ass while doing it.
Fair. So, in my opinion, one of the biggest questions, right? I mean, NRG is still NRG, right? They lose in the grand finals, but they're still probably NA's 1 seed. Space Station looks amazing. Foot looked awesome. M80 is starting to kind of put it together a little bit.
All right, I see where you're going. I think we're pushing it.
It is Shopify fighting for the 4th seed in NA, or are they still going to be pushing higher up in the lineup? Right, you still have Virtus Pro, who didn't look good. You have Dignitas, who has looked good in the past. I don't know if they will continue to look so. Right, I mean, it's still Shopify. They still make a top 4. Right, they didn't look good, and they still made a top 4 because they have an extremely talented roster.
I think 2 through 4 is just an arms race. I don't think anyone outside of this 4 is going to be fighting it. But we also saw Gen G do this last season with Justin when they made that Riddles for Justin swap. That Gen G with Justin looked insane. So this could just be that new fitting for Justin and him just doing the same thing as last year where they look great, but then when it comes to it, they're actually ass. We're gonna find out going forward if it's gonna keep up.
Like if they're just
But
honeymooning, or if this is actually
yeah,
the real Foot. Yeah.
because that was exactly what happened last year. They did the Riddles for Justin swap, and then Justin on Gen G looked insane. He looked unstoppable. They're like, wow, this is a powerhouse. And then it got the LAN, and they went into LCQ and got absolutely dumpstered. I don't even, they got bounced out of LCQ bracket, I believe. My memory serves me correctly at Worlds.
Yep.
They got bounced hard, and they just didn't look that good on LAN at all. And I also think they got bounced early in that was when that was Raleigh. They got bounced early in Raleigh too. That was
Yes,
when
they
only
did. They did
NRG
not
made
make.
it out.
They did not make the
Yeah,
crowd days. We got to see Justin because media, but the crowd did not get to see Justin play.
yeah. So I think there's a chance that it could just be a repeat of last year. Stories may repeat themselves. We'll see if Foot can do the thing and make it there, and see how they perform there. Um, but yeah, I think we gotta see a little bit more of them because we've seen Justin do this before.
Yeah, because then and that leads into my next question. I was like, is that is this kind of it for Gen G? Right, it kind of seems like they're not really trending in the right direction. They needed a big performance here in Open number 4 to kind of put themselves back into contention for a major. But it at this point they almost seem destined to be an LCQ team or to try to be an LCQ team.
Yeah, I think Shop's still 3. I think SSG have established themselves as possibly the 2. I do think if Shopify could turn it around, that's also my copium. Um, but I do think there's a team that can turn around. It's Shop because they have the talent on the paper.
They certainly do.
Yeah, Reveal playing that midfield role again to facilitate, and Zach just being back with them, and Diaz just getting a freestyle. I think Diaz being the one man Reveal at midfield, setting up things, and Zach just defending. I think that team, it's got a youthful light shining on them again, as we saw last year. Come the second half of the season. So we'll see how they turn out because obviously we saw how SSG did at the last 2 lanes that they were at. I don't think Worlds they made it out of, but the Raleigh they didn't even make it out of groups, or the Swiss, and then this past one they didn't. Obviously they didn't have a really fair bracket, but yeah, they did not shine well at all. So we'll just it's a lot of in due time. It's kind of the only thing we can do is speculate, but yeah, I think SSG is taking the 2 spot. I do still think Shop holds 3. Foot is at 4.
Okay.
The real question is who's at 5 now, because Gen G, I don't know if you can put them there.
VP.
I don't even know they didn't even make main event.
They did not.
They get screwed by who they played, possibly.
Yeah.
But they didn't even make it.
Yeah,
at all.
this is true. But I feel like I'm going to make a controversial statement here. I think that the space station roster, as currently constructed, is a better roster than the space station roster with Kofor. When it was Reveal, Scribbles, and Kofor.
So you're saying this team can make top 6 at Worlds?
I think so.
Even with the likes of this year's talent being Vitality and Gentlemates at being as peak as they are?
I am still not a full believer in Vitality.
You're a full believer in Gentlemates?
Yes.
He believes in Nas. Can't argue with that. Cannot argue with that.
We saw the
Yeah.
origin story. The man ascended.
We saw the aura story. That's what we saw. We saw
The
that
man
man
ascended.
Yeah, that was diabolical.
Past Boston Zen, a man that we never thought we'd see be usurped.
Yeah, I think honestly, Nas. I'm surprised he was able to play because he honestly might have been locked up in Boston prison for that. How badly he murdered Vitality.
The man spent more time standing up, hyping up the crowd than he did actually sitting in his chair.
He was having a grand old time. Yeah, no.
But I think that because we always that I think back to that space station team with Kofor, and we talked about like, man, if they're peaking, this is one of the best teams in the world. But if they're not, man, they are really bad. I think that with the addition of Diaz instead of Kofor, I think, and the continued maturation of Reveal and Zach now. Sorry, I almost did it again. I think that their floor is higher.
No, I don't think it's not an insane take. They picked Diaz for a reason, and they kept Diaz over Chronic as well for a reason. I think something about them youths. What was that? Is that Nick from New Girl? The youths. That's who's running the game, and SSG's letting them continue to run with it. They gave him one split with Chronic, get a little bit of veteran leadership to go along with Expert and all of his knowledge. They said, "All right, run it back, bring Zach back. The youths, we're back." And they immediately win a regional, which is insane because Space Station before last year they haven't won since Season X.
Yeah,
they haven't won anything.
Yeah, like Arsenal, Red-Ulls.
So like with Reveal and Zach, they're now at 2. They're already at 2 in 2 seasons, which is eons better than the past. Yeah, especially with NRG being as dominant and win happy as they are, because they quite literally have been dang near sweeping every set of opens.
I would agree.
I don't think, honestly, you've convinced me. It's not that crazy of a statement. I do think they're relatively equal, but we'll see how they pan out, because this is still only split 1. Again, as we keep saying, the honeymoon phase.
Right, yeah, very true. Very true. But is there anything else that you wanted to add about any of the regions or any of the opens that we've talked about so far before we do our Quilly question?
SSG, goated.
Fair.
Respect it. Acknowledge it.
Put some respect on their name.
Put some respect on it. That's awesome. But no, I got nothing else.
Okay. So you got a Quilly question in the chamber loaded up, or you got
What was it last week? It was the survival one, the one on the island.
All right, we're just
gonna stick to the Pokemon. What is your when you're starting? You got the 3. You obviously got it: grass, water, fire. Which one do you go with?
It's fire.
It's always fire.
Yeah.
Sometimes maybe I'll think water. It's never grass.
No.
What's your favorite Pokemon of all time? That was a short one.
That's a good question. I always liked Blaziken a lot because I played like Ruby and I played Ruby mostly growing up. That was the Pokemon game that I spent the most time playing. Yeah, it's just fire and it's not even close. But I liked Blaziken a lot. I have a soft spot for like Electabuzz. I don't know why. But what about you?
I keep it with the flame, or the red. Mine it's like a mix between Growlithe and Arcanine because they're both sick. Is it
Yeah.
Arcanine, whichever one you want to pronounce it. I do also like Charmander a lot. He used to be my Discord profile picture for a hot minute. But the goat of all goats is Aerodactyl. Just a sick ass freaking dinosaur.
Yeah.
And that also was why it sucked getting rid of Gina's account because she had a level 5 Aerodactyl. So it kind of sucked getting rid of that. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. I'm also a we'll drop some obscure lore for the non ball knowers here, but Omanite is another one of the ones I really like. The snail, the water ground snail. You
What a
laughing at?
shout.
Yeah.
What a shout. Thinking of the who am I thinking of? What's the other? Isn't it
Shelter?
Shelter? Is that the clam?
Yeah, well
Or
there's
is that the one that looks like
there's
a snail?
Shelter is Shelter is like an oyster.
Yeah. What'd you say? Omanite? Is that the one I'm thinking of though? Like he's got a tan shell and a blue. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking
Yup.
of. He's got like a tan
Yup.
shell and he's blue.
It's like a little
That's what I was
snail.
thinking of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and his like little legs stick out like a mustache. It's adorable.
Yeah.
You know. Also, I saw this one thing. This one guy. His favorite Pokemon is Bellsprout, and they have not put Bellsprout in a game in like several generations, but they keep putting Oddish, who evolves into Bellsprout. They're just putting Oddish in with no evolution. This guy is losing his
He's
mind
in
and crying.
shambles.
He's literally crashing out because all he wants to do is play Bellsprout, and they just keep putting only Oddish in the game.
That's
It's so
crazy.
funny. So I now do have I do love my Oddish purely for that reason. But unfortunately, he will one day turn to a Bellsprout because playing Fire Red.
Fair. Fair. Well, I think that's as good a place as any to wrap up for today's episode. Um, we'd like to thank everyone so much for listening. This podcast is proudly brought to you by our name level supporters on Patreon, Alyssa B. Please remember to rate us 5 stars wherever you listen to podcasts. Share the show, tell a friend. It all helps us grow audience and improve the show. Subscribe on YouTube, like, share the video, all that fun stuff. Remember to give us a follow on Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, TikTok, and Twitch, which we're currently live recording on right now. You can also support us by checking out our merch store and our Patreon, as this is how we fund the show. All of these links and more can be found on our website at boostoverball.com. And from us here on the show, as always, remember to choose Boost over Ball. See ya.